money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching. Trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching, big profit. Even when the market's
What's going on, believers? Guys, can you hear me?
For ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet
if you can
this.
hear me,
It's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right.
Having a little bit of a connection issue. I'm trying to get on a my network doesn't seem to be working very well, so let's try this. What's going on, believers? Guys, I hope everybody can hear me. I was having quite a connection issue this morning. I don't know what was going on. It was just my whole internet was just getting all messed up, and it was draining. I was on 2.4. I don't know if there was a device or something in my range that was causing some kind of problem, but I finally got it fixed. I think I got it fixed anyway, and we're on the 5G broadband now, which of course means the signal is just a little bit lower because, I didn't put it right next to me because I didn't want the brain cancer. And the audio's messed up. Great. This is just awesome. All right. So how's everybody doing this morning? Can you hear me? All right. So I am on a tear right now with Terra Classic. We just got notified that in 5 days, Luna Classic is about to go out of control. Now, Luna Classic is trading right now at 9,600, 9,670. It's been, you can see here, it's been having a little bit of a struggle in the last little while with maintaining its support line. There's been some serious dumping down to 91. Now, this would have been a great entry point. You might be getting a better entry point very soon, but you should be real excited about what's going on with Luna Classic right now because you finally got some clarity. And if you go check the Luna, if you go check the Terra Rebels, this is what happened. The Terra Rebel devs estimate the request to upgrade would be in around 5 days. Our proposals are getting implemented. We need to contact all the validators soon. So this is getting ready to happen. We are literally seeing the moment of liftoff. Now, remember, don't forget, in order for this to be successful, we still need August 22nd to show up for Terra, for Luna Classic, because otherwise we're going to be kind of like, there's only so many validators, and those validators, by the way, 58 validators have now moved over to the Polygon system and the Polygon network. Now, that's not a huge amount, but that is an amount. And the more validators over on Polygon, the more people doing work over there and not on Luna 2.0 tuna, as you might want to call it, or Luna Classic, means the less activity and the less dApps that are running on the network, which means the lesser amount of mass adoption you're going to see. So here's the actual note. So in about 2.5 hours, the testnet will hit the security block where delegation and create new validators will be disabled. Now, once validators are disabled, they will need to hit a height of 8,769,595 blocks, I think is the number. When they hit that number on the block, then it will reopen validators, but it can't hit that number and won't hit that number until August 22nd. So once this goes live, there will be no more validators other than the ones who have already been approved. So there's going to be a limited run happening immediately. We will then run a diverse set of transactions, as many as we can, to mirror the types of transactions on mainnet. This will take a few days and allow us also package up version 21. Then I will ask testnet operators to upgrade to this package. I would estimate the request to upgrade would be around 5 days. So this looks like we've got about 5 days before we start to see, and this is big, we're going to see 3568 on the mainnet. We're going to see 4090 on the mainnet. We're going to see $12.95 on the main net. We're going to see $12.99. Now, $12.99 is the reinstatement of the validators and the ability to add new validators. And that's the reinstatement. It's not the reinstatement of validators. It's the ability to add new validators, which is any company that wants to come in and support the project is going to be able to then come in and support the project. So August 22nd is a huge target date. But some people were doing the math and they were seeing the trading volume that was happening. And the trading volume, the Terra Rebels were indicating, if you pay attention to what that volume was, then 770 million Luna Classic would have been burned yesterday. Now, that's not a significant amount, but that is a good amount. So here we go. Excellent work from Terra Rebels. Even though it seems like not much is happening, there's a lot on behind the scenes. Thanks for the checking that 1.2% burn would give. In 5.6 hours, the 1.2% would have burned 777 million tokens. That is a huge amount here. And here's this is what they were running to see how it would have worked out. Remember, there's different places where you have tokens, so it's not going to be one of those things where you're not going to see 777 million every 5.6 hours. But that's a good indication that there are a lot going on. So that's a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool number. Just consider that in 24 hours, that means 3 billion will be burned. That's not huge, by the way, still not huge. But one of the pieces that goes along with that is not only would you have that burn, which is the 1.2%, but then you would also have 35% of all transaction fees being burned, because 3568 changes the number of the transaction fees, and it charges half. It charges a tax, and that tax gets shared between validators, creators, and then it goes into the burn wallet. And every month they burn whatever 35% of those fees are. So there's a significant burn that's intended to happen. These guys are incredibly focused on getting this supply down to 10 billion. Now, that being the case, for anybody who has their tokens right now in your wallet, what I would recommend is don't touch your tokens. The entirety of this process is to find a way to salvage money for a lot of people who got wrecked. You have to think about that, and you have to just make a consideration about the amount that we're talking about here. Let me see if I have I guess I didn't do one. I had a spreadsheet. I don't remember where the spreadsheet is now, but I did have a spreadsheet where I broke it down so that you could see it and get an idea of what it would look like. So there's a huge amount that can be burned in like a short period of time, I think. Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe I've gotten rid of it. But here, so the idea here is this significant amount of burn is to get it to 10 billion. And I believe that it's going to take like 2 years to get there, to get to 10 billion. But here's the math at the end of it. We go over here, and now we're using today's number. So take this with a grain of salt, and remember, this is with this thing being absolutely collapsed. Okay, so the very simple mechanism by which you do this is let's pull this out. Let's pop that one over here, and then we wanted this one over here. So all right, so we're trading at 97.43 right now, and the market cap is 639,324. So basically what you're doing is you're taking the market cap of 639,334,108, and then you're going to divide by the total supply of tokens, which is going to be at the end of this 10 billion. So there's 10,000, 10 million, 10 billion. So the price on your tokens per token, which is right now 0.000000973, would end up being 0.0639334. So it's very simple. You could just actually see it in the math. It's very simple on this one. So at 10 billion tokens, each token would be worth 6 cents. So if the market cap is 1 billion, then it would be worth 10 cents, if that makes sense. I hope that's an easy math for everybody to kind of look at. But the high over here was 1,085 in the last 24 hours. So it would be 10.8 cents would be how much your tokens would be worth. Now, for example, I have 10 million right now. I have 9.992 million tokens, right? So in the end, if I just hold on and they actually accomplish their goal with a market cap still of at least 600 million, then I get $638,000 when I cash out on that transaction. So, you guys have to think about this. All you have to do right now is have patience and hold, and then just let these guys do their thing. Now, if they fail, hopefully they fail to the upside. But here's the thing. There's $147 million being traded right now in volume. So you have to take some of these numbers into consideration. Fully diluted market cap, 669 million. Start to look at all these numbers and start to realize that's not going to last for the entire period of time. It's not going to last. But here's what will happen. Here's what's going to happen, and I'm just going to let you guys know. So you take this volume right here, but you remember that it wasn't that long ago this thing was trading $1 billion a day, right? Now, when everybody finds out that all of this stuff has been implemented, then you're going to see a sea of LFG going across Twitter because all of these burns have been implemented and people don't have to manually burn anymore. Now, when you start to see that and when you see this thing just completely erupt, then you're going to see people going absolutely crazy, because here there's the remaining supply right now. And you can see here, this is just a manual burn. This is just someone who sent 498 to the burn wallet. But the remaining circulating supply right now is 6.906 trillion. So you can see here, the circulating supply continues to go up massively because the total supply they're pulling from the circulating supply. The total supply is being raised because these small burns don't really matter that much because you're not burning just a huge amount. Here is almost 1 million being burned, which is kind of cool. But really, here's 1 million being burned, and you can go down the list, by the way. And anytime you see like this right here, this burn signal, then you know that that's the actual burn that's happening. So there's a lot to. All you have to have for Luna Classic right now is a little time and a little patience, and you're going to start being rewarded for that big time. As soon as this thing starts burning and we start to see a significant supply reduction, remember, we're going to get the FOMO. We're going to get that feeling, and as traders, you guys should know that the first thing that we're going to get is we're going to get that, oh my God, it's really happening, and people are going to buy in, right? The price is going to skyrocket at that point because you're going to have $1 billion in trading volume and people are going to be going crazy. Now, once that happens, then you have to remember something. This is a long process that has to play itself out. This is not a short time process. This is something that you have to let it run and let it run and let it run in order for it to get the supply down. So there's going to be an opportunity to buy in when they announce it. There's going to be an opportunity like right now, early, to get in before the implementation. There's going to be an opportunity to take profits at the top and then to ape back in, because that price will go back down, because everybody who's getting in is going to be getting in thinking, oh yeah, I'm about to get into this thing and I'm about to be a millionaire. And you're not going to be, because it doesn't work that way. So just remember that that's what's going to happen on Luna Classic in the next few days. So, but let's move on and let's get back into Bitcoin and what is going on. And the market has not been kind. The 15-minute had just gone over the 48-day, and you got a blue flip over here, so that the 9's over the 13, which means that we are back trending in the right direction, but it's only been for about an hour or two. You can look over here and you can see here from the hour chart that we've got a couple of nice candles over the last few hours after what's just been a disaster for the last couple of days. Now, this might be just sort of a last gasp for the market before tomorrow's news, but I think we really kind of have all that. I think we really, at this point, I'm changing my mind a little bit and saying that we probably have this thing baked in, the sentiment. And I think that we're not going to tank nearly as much. I don't think this is the moment where we get down, and it's because we need to have, I think, multiple catalysts in a row. And at first I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, all right, so we're going to tank on Wednesday, then draw back and think, well, so if we tank on Wednesday, then what's going to happen Thursday? It's going to be a buying opportunity. Friday's going to be a buying opportunity. We're probably going to eat that dip over the course of a short period of time, because what we're talking about right now is I heard somebody say last night that in their opinion, retail had been priced out of this market, and that retail is currently sitting on the sidelines. Retail is not sitting on the sidelines. You have some institutional money that's still in here. Michael Saylor's, you have the Mark Cubans, you have big institutional money that's still sitting on bags. So they're propping up some price points, of course. But at the end of the day, you still have a lot of retail investors who are making all these transactions. So it's not the institutions that are doing all of the trading right now. And that being said, what we need is that institutional money to come back in. So I think that he was wrong in his assessment that this is just institutional money sitting here. There's no institutions coming to us and saying, hey, buy more. You know what I mean? Like, it's retail. This is retail that's happening right now. So we got to get the institutional money back. And so his whole argument was that once the economy improves, then we're going to see, and he was predicting, by the way, about a 16,000 Bitcoin, maybe a 17,000 Bitcoin at the absolute worst. And that we've already experienced that 17,000, and that, we may have already seen the worst right here at 17,590, that maybe Bitcoin has just bottomed out, and that's just the number at this point, and that we're not going to see anything else bad happen. So it may or may not be accurate. It doesn't feel like it. Like, I don't think that I don't think that it is, but I do think there's more dip coming. But listen, I'm going to be excited if we can get enough of a pump, and it really doesn't take that much. It's only a couple $100, but if we get over this 48, then here's what happens. You see here, when you cross the 48, then you start to go on a run. So, and here we cross the 48 and we go on a big run. And, this run goes from when you cross from 19.2 to 20,004. So it's 1,200 points. Then this cross happens again for a short period of time. It goes back down. Then it crosses again here at 1966 and goes all the way up to 22.5. So I'm just waiting for this thing to cross back over this 48, and then I'll know on the hour, by the way. On the 4 hour, might take a little bit longer. On the day, again, it's going to take a little bit to get to that number, because just this thing's going to trend the way the market is, and then we're going to have at least some kind of reasonable move upwards. So that puts us around here, which is at least the 20th of July. So, we got a long way to go unless we get on a massive sort of run. So, but when you see that happen and you see us go over there, you can see here that it happened on March 22nd. So when you cross that moving average and you crossed it right here at 40,744, and you ended up at 48,000 So that was an 8,000 swing. When the day candle moves over that 48 moving average, this is the kind of shit that happens. So this one went from 44 to 68 in the all-time high. This one crossed over at 34.9 and went all the way up to 52.9. So when it crosses on the day chart, man, that is a good day indeed. That means we're on a bull run, by the way. That's what that 48 will mean. We're the bulls are in control. So but the blue indicator is now touching the green. So hopefully it's going to pop over in the next little bit, because we can see here that it kind of moved up and put us in a good position. Now, if we get down here, then, there's no telling what's going to happen here, but it's starting to look pretty good. What's going on, guys? So I guess right now we just have to have a little bit of patience and let these numbers kind of play themselves out. You can still see here that the 9-day has not crossed over with the 13-day, which means that we're not into like buy mode. We're not into a run. So, this thing could still play itself out, and we could still end up, we're in a margin of 19.8 to 19.872. We can end up with a red candle any second now, but at least we're looking a little bit better. At least we're starting to see a little bit of turnaround. So we'll see what happens in the next little while. 20 quad burn is huge. Let's see. All right, we're going to break away from this right now for terrarium. There you go. Now, this is what's going to happen right now. This is going to cause a run on terrarium. Now, I don't know where this 19.9 quadrillion is coming from, but it's going to be gigantic when it happens. We're going to view the contract here. Remember, we have 100 quadrillion tokens, right? Circulating supply. Now let's move the holders over here. We're going to go look in the dead wallet, and we see that 52% is already in the dead wallet, which means that 52 quadrillion is going to take that number to 72 quadrillion. And we're now going to have 72 quadrillion in that dead wallet, which of course, based on the way this thing works, is going to end up being just a huge play for terrarium. So then you're going to have 30 quadrillion still in circulation that are going to continue to be burned over time. 50,000 holders, you're going to burn another 1 quadrillion. There's a lot. There's a lot to be excited about. Remember, this is just going to increase when we're burning this way. We're talking about protecting that floor price. So it's not. Look, the best thing that could ever happen would be if it was burned off of the chain, but they don't have a mechanism to burn it off of the chain. So when you look at this, imagine you're adding 20 quadrillion into the burn wallet. You're probably putting yourself at least 20 quadrillion represents out of 100 is 1/5. So 3. All right, so 1 quadrillion burn would create that puts your floor right about there. So when you zoom in on this, you'll see that it doesn't really have a huge move or huge impact, but you still, if you consider right now you're trading at 1,500, to guarantee that your low is now 18, that is kind of significant. So what you're doing is increasing the current floor by 20%. So if you're in right now, then you're going to go up 20% right now. if you're not in right now, then it's 7% in, 7% out. So you'd be in profit mode just by 6%, but you would be in profit mode by aping into this thing and making a play at this point. I mean, that's the way the numbers are going to play out. So, but I mean, if you look over here, guys, by the way, you can see like there's a massive struggle suddenly happening here. Volt down to 82.37, WAGMI down to 24.52, Terrarium again at a low a couple days ago. Remember, it was down here at 92. Like, it is entirely possible before they do this burn that it continues to dip. So this, I keep saying that it feels like this is the buy opportunity, but reality is 1, 2, 3, 1, and then day up here. And then let's go look at the hour. The reality is we might have missed the dip because that dip might have gone down at 1470, and that might have been the low. But we really have to see how it's going to play out. Everybody should remember that we've got more dip happening. This market is not done capitulating. That's how the runs start. So we haven't really seen that full on, oh my God, it's going down. What am I going to do? And then it starts going down more where you'll lose hope. That's when you start to get those. That's when you really start to get those big moves. That's when you start to see. That's when you start to see a little sideways trading. Look, here's what we're going to see. We're going to see a 17,000 Bitcoin at some point, at minimum. We might even see a 10,000 Bitcoin or a 12,000 Bitcoin. Like, we don't know. We don't know what this bottom really is. We're guessing, all of us. Anybody who's an expert that's telling you they know what it's going to be is out of their mind. Like, I can look at this right now, and we can do all the technical analysis in the world, and we can put it on the day chart, and we can look at it, and we can say, all right, so what pattern do we see emerging? All right. So what pattern we see emerging right now is this bottom going to here, right? Then we see this top matching up with this. Let's get this out here, right here. So we've got a channel being formed right there. Seems to be the tops and the bottoms. You might even be able to make a case that it's right about here. And then you've got this right here. And that signals a bearish divergence. And this thing is probably going to bounce right here because that's what we're doing. We're literally bouncing on this line because that line was formed right here. And then it's going to bounce up here. So we might end up seeing over the next day or two, we might see a 23 Bitcoin, right? Then it might bounce back down to 20,500. Then we might see it down here at 23. And then here, this is where we're going to start getting those announcements. And then, so, what you could be looking to really see. Let's see here. Let's do it in green so it sounds better. What you could be seeing is you could be seeing this happen. Then you'll see, this happen. And then you'll see this happen. And then you'll see this happen. And then you'll see this happen. That's what that trend line right now tells you, because that's that reverse pennant, but it's not forming a tightening channel. It's still got a wide channel. So that's going to be one of your bearish divergent sort of moments where you're going to see this thing drop completely. And we're putting this date on the line. And that date right there is July 27th, July 28th. So that's when that's exactly right, Mike Jones. You just don't know what's going to happen. All you can do is just make a guess based on where you are. And like, this is D-Day right here. Like, this is when you see the crazy shit start to happen. Is going to be that GDP number. When you get the GDP and you get the 75 BPS at the same time, you're going to get those. By the way, you're going to get. So here's what's going to happen, right? On the 26th, you're going to get the FOMC meeting, and you're going to get rumors coming out. Then you're going to get the 27th, you're going to get the announcement, and Jerome Powell's going to come up and he's going to go, hello, guys. So we think that we're going to do this, and we're going to announce that we're going to do 75 basis points. And you're going to see him, and he's going to go through an hour-long briefing on how he thinks the economy is going to be just super crazy awesome. But they're going to do 75 basis points. And they're going to do 75 basis points, by the way, because they have to go high, because there is absolutely no meeting in the month of August, which means that whatever they do now has to be something that's going to keep them going through September. And then they're going to have the September meeting, and then there's no meeting in October, and there'll be a November meeting. So, or maybe it's September, and then they skip a month in October or November. I don't, God damn it. Now I got to. Now I got to remember here. Okay, so July, they're meeting in July. They're not meeting in August. They're meeting in September, but they're not meeting in October. Then they're meeting at the beginning of November, and then December 13 and 14. So here you can see the schedule right now. So whatever they do right now is going to have to bake in whatever problems they feel like are going to happen in August. And then when they do it again in September, this is when you're going to see. This is when you're going to see probably 75 more. Because I think what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to get it up to like 3%. They warned that it was going to happen here. So then they did 75 here. Then they did 75 here. They're probably going to do 75 here. And then they'll do 75 here. And that'll be 3%. That'll make it 3%. And then they probably won't do anything here. Like, because then we'll have the 3%. And the 3% means that you're going to be paying, you know, if you're paying 4.6% interest right now, or 3% interest because you've got really good credit or something like that, and you're paying 3 or 4% for your house, now you're going to be paying 7 or 8% for your house. And of course, you know, let's not pretend like you can't refinance and make everything awesome after the fact when the Fed rate goes back down. But seriously, there's going to be some tightening that's going to happen right now. Now, we're already seeing indications that the market has started to purchasing power is down, but buying is also down. We're starting to see signs that that's happening. So this is already starting to help. And when we're really going to see whether or not there's something good or bad. By the way, if you look at this channel right here and you do it on the hour charts, look at this, beautiful. It just absolutely plays out. Like, I almost nailed this thing perfectly. And like, we weren't even looking at the hour chart, but we almost nailed this thing perfectly right down the line. And up at the top here, we hit the top here, we hit the top here, we hit the top here. Looks like we missed that top right there. But I mean, guys, you can't draw these things better. Actually, I can draw it better, but just barely better. I mean, like, this is really, I think we just kind of nail this thing into this channel. And that is that bearish divergence pattern that you're going to end up seeing play out over the next little while. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. We're in this channel until we're out of this channel, and we're going to be in and out of this channel until like the 28th. So, you know, if you just consider that that's a few days away, then we've got more upside here. 23,000. If we just take, and look, anything can happen. But you know, if you just take this and say that's the distance, and that's going to flip that to, if this thing gets on an actual run, and then up here you can see it's 23,000 Bitcoin. So, you know, all is not lost, and that's going to be on the 16th. And we're just looking at the normal way that it plays out from the 5th to the 8th. So you're looking about 3 or 4 days. So this is 3 or 4 days. So this is exactly what could happen. I'm not saying that it will. I'm just saying that this is what could happen over the next few days. And it might happen twice, because we might see it come back down, and we might see it go back up right before we get to the 26th or 27th and 28th, and we really start to see it. But on the 28th, we're going to get a GDP number, and that GDP number is going to be -2%. -2% is going to be bad. Like that's going to be a bad number. That will mean that we are in a recession. That will mean that our recession number, which, by the way, remember this, 2 months ago, we were talking about we wouldn't see that number until 2023. We're already seeing it, and it's already there. So let's go look at the, all right, here we go. The Dow is up 48 points already on the day. And by the way, I figured out that I'm an idiot. We could just always just look at the Dow here and see what's going on right away. We don't have to pull it up online. So, and the SPY is up 1.3. So the SPY is what we're going to use as our indicator, because the Standard & Poor, that's the one that matters to us the most. So when it goes up, then Bitcoin. So here's the thing. When we're talking about volatility, then the Dow Jones goes up, let's say right here, like 0.25%. That means the SPY is going to go up 0.5%. If the SPY goes up 0.5%, then Bitcoin is going to go up double that, which is 1%. And if Bitcoin goes up 1%, then Ethereum is going to go up 2%. So just to give you an idea, like that's the way these numbers are playing out right now. And that's not perfect. It's not an exact science. It never is. But that's what we're that's kind of the feeling, and that's kind of where this thing is playing out right now. So all right, let's get into chat right now, and let's just surprise ourselves with what Bitcoin does in the next little while. Matter of fact, before we do, holy shit, we're starting to see a run on Bitcoin up to 20,000. So it looks like we hit this. We kind of hit that line, and now it's starting to bounce. Like, do we see this thing immediately just start to take off? So we'll find out in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, all right, let's get into chat. Holy shit, we're behind. So if anybody was not here in the beginning, I had a huge problem with my feed. It was not working for whatever reason. Like I couldn't get anything happening this morning. It was just crazy. All right. There we go. By the way, for those of you that are Volt centric, I did a my video today about Volt was all about how many, like we're trading $5 million almost in volume every single day on Volt. We don't even realize it, because when you go and you look at Uniswap, you're only seeing like 120,000, 450,000 today. So you're seeing like a massive sort of volume right now, but you don't really see that all the time. What you end up seeing is something a little bit better. And by the way, if you have any questions, now is going to be the time to ask. Will Luna Classic dump further? Yes, hopefully it will. And I'm looking, by the way, through here for questions. Bleaves, what do you think about the Terrarium 20 quad burn? I think we covered that, Matty B. I think that's going to be it's going to be kick ass. I think it's going to move that bottom number up a little bit. So instead of trading at 15, we're going to be trading at 18. We're going to have a nice little, yeah. I appreciate it, Tom. What is, I don't know Monoveil. I don't know what that is. So haven't seen that one. And it's good. It's a good idea to keep buying. Like, I'm nervous in this market, so I'm not buying. I am not in buy mode, but I'm also not in buy mode because I've already bought a ton. I'm loaded up on tons of stuff. The only thing that I have is about 25 grand in side money that I'm waiting, just to, find me. Matter of fact, my next play, by the way, full disclosure, I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the biggest dip, and then I'm going to go hard on Avalanche, Aave, and then Polygon. I think I'm going to do all three of those at the same time, because Polygon has picked up a whole bunch of, and I mean a whole bunch of the previous Terra Luna Classic. It's pulled a bunch of those validators into their ecosystem. So, and if I go by the sentiment that the Dow does 1%, and then the SPY doubles that percent, and then Bitcoin doubles the SPY, and then ETH doubles Bitcoin, then all the altcoins reasonably double Ethereum, especially if they're in positive sentiment. If I just go based on that, then all I need to do is just wait for a massive dip. And when I see that soul crushing sort of Bitcoin down to 17,000, Avalanche is going to be way down. And then let's just ape into Avalanche, Aave, and Matic and see what happens, and see if we don't just grow our bag like crazy from that. You know what I mean? All right. So Bitcoin and ETH could drop to 5-year lows. No, they can't. Mike, I do understand why you're saying that, because it's anything is possible. But the question is now probability, and the probability of Ethereum and Bitcoin going down to 5-year lows is improbable. And it's improbable because there's so many more people that are holding now that were not holding before. Because you could, and as a matter of fact, I'll tell you that there's no chance that that happens, because 5 years ago, so what are we at? July 22. So that means we're going to be at July 17. So July of 2017, the market cap was 100 billion. Even at our worst, we're going to be 4.5x above that. So we're not going to get there. You know, in 2017, I'll just put it this way. In 2017, Michael Saylor didn't have 132,000 Bitcoin. Mark Cuban didn't have 100,000 Bitcoin. You know, we didn't have the massive level of hodlers that we have today. So there's no possibility that we go to this number. It would take, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Mike Jones, if we go into a world war, if the world goes to war and we lose the internet for an extended period of time, maybe. So what I'm saying is anything's possible, but it's very improbable, especially right now. Especially right now, we're not going to get to that number. If we get half of the number that we're at right now, and we get down to $450 billion market cap, then that is right here in late 2020. That's before we got on the big run. That's about where we go. And if you look at historical, if you look at 90% come downs, 80% come downs, 85% come downs, and then you consider that this one probably is a 75%, then we're already baked in. We've already hit the bottom, which I think I said yesterday. But if you consider that it's 80% from 3 trillion, then you're talking about right here. You're talking about 600 billion. And if you're talking 85%, then you're talking about 450 billion. And again, 450 billion is going to be way over 100 billion that we were in July. So I don't think that that's possible. But hey, man, that's not something I want you to be right about. XDC, it's the ETH killer in the future. I don't think so. I don't think anything is going to be. I don't think anything's going to be an ETH killer in the future. I think that we're going to be looking at ETH for a long, long time to come, because Ethereum is making the necessary transitions over. And it's, listen, Ethereum is the big dog on the block. Everybody wants to be the ETH killer, just like everybody wants to be the Doge killer. Everybody wants to be the store of value like Bitcoin. Everybody wants to be the commodity and not the security, right? But nothing is, and nothing's going to beat Ethereum. The things that we look at that might beat Ethereum are not even close. And some of them that we're looking at are layer 2 solutions built on Ethereum. So, even worse when you're looking at the ranking systems and you're seeing all the other potential ones. BNB is built on Ethereum. So, it's already there. Cardano is 1/10 the market cap. So it's got some major room to make up. Solana only works 29 days out of 30. Polkadot doesn't have a shot because it's just not Ethereum. Even though it bridges everybody together, bridging everybody together as a layer 0 solution doesn't make it Ethereum. Nobody's building on this blockchain. If this layer 0 blockchain was the shit like everybody wants it to be, then everything would be built upon it, and we would start to see that. Now, that's not to say that it can't happen in the future. It just hasn't happened yet. Tron, TRX, nope. Avalanche, nope. Matic, it's built layer 2. It's on the block system. It's so, as you go down this list, Chainlink. Well, Chainlink is, oh my God, is like the Oracle solution. So this is for businesses, and so that's probably going to have some value, but nope. Crow as an ecosystem might have a moment where it starts to run. And like, listen, I mean, if you look, crypto.com is the ultimate name, right? Crypto.com is the ultimate name, and that would indicate to me that this thing is going to do 100x from where it is right now. Just in a bull run, in the next bull run, crypto.com is going to do 100x, and it's going to have a $280 billion market cap from where it is right now. But of course, when that happens, Ethereum is going to do a 10x too, and it's going to have a $1 trillion market cap. So it's not catching it. Just on and on down the line, you're just not going to see that. It's not going to happen. All right. 25K Bitcoin for July 20th. July 20th, by the way, is my birthday. And for anybody, because I keep saying it, that was the worst day of crypto last year. And I hope that it's not the worst day of crypto again this year, because then it's going to make it easier. Well, actually, you know what? It would be kind of cool if it was, because then it would make it a lot easier to predict. Huh. All right. So now I'm missing some of these. I regret I got 3 friends into Saitama. How do I keep my mouth shut during... Mike Jones, here's the thing. Here's what you owe those guys. You don't owe them anything first. But if you want to fix it for them, find projects early, and then find those projects early, and then teach them how to invest early so that they don't get wrecked. Like, teach them how to not get absolutely wrecked from their investments. Don't buy the green candles. Like, we know so much more now. Let's just say this. We know so much more now than we knew way back when we were just children and we were just getting into this. Like, we know right now that this doesn't end well. Like we know this. We know that when you see this pattern emerge, we know that it goes down. So now we just have to find the date that it goes down. And I'm willing to bet it's going to be this spot right here and here. That's where we're going down, right there. You know what? Should have made that red. And turn into a frown. Adios, muchacho. That's adios, muchacho day. So we know how this plays out. We can feel it, and we can predict that you got a bump here and then a down here, or maybe you get 2 of them on this run. But we see the channel. We know that it's formed. Now we're just gonna, let's play the channel and see what happens. And if we can get this EMA, if we can get above this 48 EMA right here and get on a run, then cool. So we know more now than we did. We know some better investments that we didn't know then. So yes, Luna is about to pump. Luna Classic is going to pump, but it's going to take some time. It's not going to be sustained. It's going to pump. When I say pump, I mean like it's going to do a 2x or something like that. So just so you guys know, when I'm saying that Luna Classic is going to pump, then what I'm saying is it's going to go like up here to 1668 again, maybe even 18, because it's going to test that top again. Like what you're going to see, where we at 5 days, right? So in 5 days, that's when we're going to really start to see, oh shit, they're implementing stuff. So then in Luna, let's do it again in green so that it feels like we're going upwards. Then we're going to see this happen. Shit. Let's try that again. What we're going to see in Luna is that. That's what we're going to see in Luna. But after that, we're going to see the same thing happen again. This is just the way That's the way crypto works. Like, we're not going to see, it's not just going to go a straight shot all the way to $1. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to take some time. It's going to have some dips, and then hopefully it will go back up after this, and we'll start to see it move in that fashion. But there's no guarantee that we'll see it do that. But we will see a nice big pump when Terra Luna takes over in 5 days and they start to get these burns implemented. Like, we're going to see that move. It's just, it's not going to sustain itself. And by the way, it might not last very long, because this is all going to happen nearer and nearer to this day. And right here, it's D-Day. This is the day. And let's go. That's your ass day right there. So anything that happens better happen early, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we go up and we have this nice run right here. And, maybe by the way, maybe this even goes up higher. Like, I'm not saying that it won't even go higher. Like, this might 3x or something like that from where it is right now. And that's only like right here. But it is coming back down. ETH can't go so low. As many staked ETH can't be sold. Yeah, there's plenty of those happening. And yes, we're in that black swan. We're in that moment. Like, it's like shit's gonna get dirty pretty soon. Biden said we should sell Bitcoin and we will be happy with nothing. Oh, well then there you go. So now you can see that ugly face. So shit is what I meant to say. Yeah, so let's do that one more time. So this is Luna Classic right now, and this is where it's going to go. So we got 5 days. We're going to have a little bit of sideways trading. And what happens in this period right here doesn't really matter. Like, we're going to see an up and a down, and up and a down, but then we're going to get the notice right now that it's like, oh my God, everything's crazy. And then we're just going to have this big run. And then it's just going to, come down, and it's just going to keep coming down. And then it's going to be like, oh shit, help. And then it's going to go back up. So, I mean, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see it happen that way. Now, of course, we're not going to see this part where it goes back in time, but, I'm drawn, give me a break. But like, that's how it's going to play out. Like, we're going to see, the market's just going to be the market. And this descending channel over here for Bitcoin, we're probably going to get that bounce. And the bounce could happen at any time, but we're going to get that run to about here, which is, what do we call this? 23,000, 23,000, a little bit over 23,000, maybe even 22.5. We might not even get back there. We might just kind of pop here at the high in that 22 range. And then we're going to go back down, and then we're going to test this. And we may even go down like this, slower and slower. I don't think so, but it could be that we end up like in this spot, and then adios, muchachos. I'm going to hell. And that's the way it plays out. But we're going to have another bounce. We might even, here's the other thing. So with what we get the announcement for tomorrow, let me point another thing that might happen. So let's just say, for example, that today is going to be one of those days where we're probably going to have something good happening, right? So we get a little bit of a run here, then we get the report tomorrow, and then we go back down and we test this again, and then we could come back up, and bang, here we are. And then we're going to start coming back down, and as we come down, it's going to be like, whoa. So, there's any kind of different ways this could play out. Nobody really knows. But what we do know is the channel is the channel. And until it breaks out of that channel, it really hasn't broken out of that channel yet. Until it breaks out of that channel and forms a new pattern, then this is the pattern. So, since June 13, it's been forming. So, and if we just consider that it was formed right here and here, then we already know that it's playing itself out. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And you see right here, the Dow Jones is still kind of fighting right now, waiting to see if there's a pump. It's up 100 points right now, and the SPY is up 0.12. So until we start to see them make some moves and we see a little bit more gain out of them, then it's not going to move over to Bitcoin. We're not going to see it on ETH either. So, but we're going to get there. Like, again, I think we're going to see some kind of little pump today. It's just a matter of some time before it starts to hold on one second. Gotta love it. All right, anyway, so back to where we were. Oh, and by the way, this thing plays out the same way on every single one of these. By the way, if you kind of zoom these out, then you'll get the same sense on all of it, because where Bitcoin goes, everything else goes. So you'll see the same thing kind of playing itself out on Ethereum as well. You'll see that line kind of develop. You'll see that line kind of develop here too. And then just like this, by the way, it ends in a dip. Just like this, by the way. And this is an example. It just ends in a dip. It just ends in another dip. It just ends in another dip. And we got to get to the bottom before we start to break out. So let's move on to this for a little while. Everything is in the red. Just a disaster. Just a disaster. Everybody we should all take a moment and just cry about the market. You know what I mean? Like, wah, wah. Like, ooh, it's asking me to update info on Volt. I wonder what I can update. Update special info. All right, in chat right now, tell me where you think that we're going to end. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm giving away a Believes Crypto hat. I'm going to give away a Believes Crypto hat for anybody who can tell me. We're going to do this on Twitter. Matter of fact, let's do this shit on Twitter. All right. All right. So contest for tonight's bedtime with Believes. The closest guess on where Bitcoin is at 8 o'clock p.m. CST will win a free Believes Crypto baseball hat. Yeah, I know, man. Make your guesses below. One closest above or below wins. Ties will have a S off. Here we go. All right, there we go. Here you go. Look at this. Look at this. Lucky. New studies show moderate crack cocaine use not a cause for concern. As long as you keep it chill. All right, guys, that's my time. This is not financial advice. My name is Believes. I'm always right. You can reach me at Twitter. Is at Believes Crypto. So go make your guess today. Let's see who wins. And then 8 o'clock, we'll find out. Have a good night, guys, and we'll see you then.